Morning. I was interested in doing a vlog and drive because I'm really trying to work on adding more video into my world. But sometimes it's like I'm kind of a little disorganized. I want the lighting to be perfect. And honestly, really when it comes down to it, imperfection is what life is, right? So here we are. I am driving to a friend of mine's house, and part of our time there, um, we're going to be making brunch. And I decided that it would be great for me to pick up some bagels. Now, I'm not a New Yorker. I live up here, but I'm a Bay State girl. I'm from New England is my home, through and through. The thing is, I know people have opinions about bagels. New York bagels are the best. Montreal bagels are the best. Where do you get them? What do you do? How do you, like yeah, bagels and pizza. So many people have opinions about them. I honestly don't. I like bagels as an every once in a while thing. Just like give me some naan. Give me a tortilla. Give me a beautifully made, not soft, pillowy, wrapped to wrap some meat and sauces in. So let me just say, those aren't the carbs I'm wanting. But bagels. People really have opinions about bagels. And I wanted to talk about the place that I went to and how I learned a lesson about the importance of the in between. So, this place in Albany called Pearls. It started as a pandemic business, taking orders on Facebook, going into meeting at a parking lot, doing deliveries. Those are the kind of businesses I love because it is grounded in someone seeing a need and taking the scrappiness and resilience to honestly make it happen. And how beautiful is that? And so I waited in line for a good 10 minutes, had some great conversations with fellow bagel hunters. I learned, now please correct me if this is wrong, apparently the process to make bagels at Paris is not New York style. It's not Montreal style, but somewhere in between. How cool is that? And it's the ability for people to take what is best from these two techniques, merge them together, and create something brand new. And honestly, one of my besties, she's from downstate, loves her bagels. She knows who she is. And she said it is out, a perfect, and I say perfect as much as it can be, replacement for bagels down in the city. What I thought about today when I learned that their technique is something in between two very well established preparations, sitting at the intersection of two very specific techniques and preferences with fans on both sides, is the beauty of the in between. And honestly, that's what I love about food culture. It's about what we do and how we approach things. And sometimes it's really looking at what's in between. It's Indo-American food from my French waiter, masala and chai. It's my prima Paula Velez, who has her cookbook, Bodega Bakes. It is out now, and if you have not checked out my episode on our conversation about bodegas and the power of third spaces, check it out. Or Mara up in Vermont, who, like me, is Italian American and Dominican. I mean, it's not just about mixed people. It is about pulling from the multiplicities of our identities, experiences, communities, cultures, and lives. Mara's up in Vermont doing Dominican food that is inspired by her heritage. Paula accomplished pastry chef, worked for Jacques Torres, worked Kith Kin with Kwame Onwuachi, and was a co-founder of Bakers Against Racism, and shares stories of delicious foods from bodegas, corner stores. Shout out for the chopped cheese, or let me know about the Howard one. What's your favorite bodega dish? And pulling those together to make something beautiful. It's my buddy John Kung Food, TikTok, who is someone who has really carved a place for themselves in the area of third culture cooking, in thinking about those spaces in between. And honestly, for me, that's where the magic happens. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like the bifurcation into X plus Y equals Z. Perhaps you're a classically trained French chef. Perhaps you're a sommelier. Or you're like the wine writer, Julia Coney, who on Clubhouse, shout out to Clubhouse, who was offering suggestions for wine pairings that would go with Dorito chips. It's giving high and low. It's giving accessible. It's really looking at all sides of yourself, not sticking to one path. I think that can be some of the truest parts of food. It's acquaintance slash newish friend who shared with me a story about how they didn't feel like they had food culture. And shared that they grew up eating Armenian food, yet they weren't Armenian because their mom had worked either in a kitchen or in a kitchen with Armenians or something like that. And even mom was sharing, oh, we need to put turmeric on, or something on the turkey. And the kids are like, why? And they're like, well, that's just what we do. And they're like, Mom, we're not Armenian. Well, let me tell you, and I'm not going to speak for Armenians, but honestly, I think of that as being part of your food story. I'll even look at myself. I'm a mixed kid. I mean, kid, 41, but kid. And I'm half Dominican. I'm half Italian American. That's its own story well enough. But also, when I sibling, my younger brother and I went in foster care, we grew up eating a lot of Polish American food. Don't tell me I don't know anything about galumpkis, kielbasa, kapusta, pierogis, any of that. I mean, we grew up in a town that has a strong Polish American food traditions. Do we look Polish American with this hair? Well, it's a wet day. You know what I mean? But it doesn't mean, am I going to rep and say I know anything about Polish food? No. But can I share the story? I'm making galumpkis and telling me about how her mother made them for their family of 7 and how this was a tool of resilience. This was a tool of taking what you have, doing what you can, and making something delicious. You can't tell me nothing. I mean, you can tell me plenty, please. Tell me everything. But yeah, when I think about when we either look at food stories or food approaches to food, I think there are ways that it's easy to think that you don't have a food culture and that your food story is not really special. But if you really kind of look at it from a broader view, just kind of take a look at it with a soft focus and see that what are the dishes that brought you joy? What are the stories around them when your parents, your caregivers, had around the table? What were the stories behind those dishes? That for me is food culture. That is the love of all these things, and I think that's pretty special. Anyways, I am so excited to share more. I'm recording another of my podcasts, Food Stories Told. A lot of solo episodes coming out, telling all of those stories. I'm really glad to bring that stuff to you. I've been offline for so long, and yeah, that's my life these days. But slowly coming back, sharing stories, my own food stories, dispatches from my travels, and I've got a really great season coming up for you. So Thanks so much for watching and have a good day.